Awesome, thank you. Welcome to Kent County, Maryland. This is the Department of Planning, Housing, and Zoning Administrative Hearing. Glad that you all could attend. I'm Bill Mackey. I'm the director of the department. With me is Carla Gerber, the deputy director, Mark Harper, associate planner, Rob Tracy, associate planner, and Tyler Arnold, who is acting clerk today and our GIS coordinator. So we're going to be hearing three items today, one from the McDonald's, one from the Carmens, and one from St. Mary's Roofing. If you are going to speak, provide any testimony or evidence in any way, if you could, please raise your right hand and answer this question. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is true to the best of your belief and knowledge? I do. Thank you. So the way these hearings normally proceed, the clerk will read the record of the public notice into the record for all the hearings, and then we'll go through each item. Staff will present a staff report. Applicants will make a presentation at the table, and then anyone in the room who is in support of the application may speak. Anyone who is opposing the application would speak, and then there's the opportunity for questions between all parties, and then usually the applicant is afforded a closing statement as well as any opponents. So to begin, if you would read the public advertisement into the record. Thank you, Tyler.
The following was placed in the Kent County News, March 21st, 2024. On Thursday, March 28th, 2024, at 11 a.m., the Kent County Director of Planning, Housing, and Zoning will hold a public hearing in the County Commissioner's Hearing Room, 400 High Street, Chestertown, Maryland, on the following matters. Julie Honish Carmen and John Carmen requesting an administrative special exception to construct a swimming pool and patio in the front yard of a waterfront property. The property is located at 24329 Waterview Drive, Wharton. Lewis McDonald requesting an administrative special exception to renovate two existing farm buildings into a single structure that will be over 1,200 square feet, The property is located at 13200 Bloomfield Road, Kennedyville. Mike Granger of St. Mary's Roofing and Home Improvement LLC requesting an administrative special exception for the adaptive reuse of an existing structure as a home repair business office. The property is located at 10720 Augustine Herman Highway, Chestertown. Members of the public may attend the meeting in person or observe and/or comment by phone. If you have any questions, please contact the department at 410-778-7423. If you need communication assistance, please contact the Maryland Relay Service at www.mdrelay.org or 711 for voice assistance.
Yep, thank you very much. So we will start with the McDonald application. If you'd like to come forward to the table. And Carla, we're ready for your staff report. If I might ask, have you reviewed the staff report? Have you received it and reviewed it? Yes, okay. So perhaps we can do a highlights of the staff report.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
So Lewis and Brian McDonald are requesting this administrative special exception to renovate two buildings. The resulting enclosed area will be 50 feet by 100 feet, and there will be a 20-foot by 100-foot lean-to. The renovations involve removing roofs, raising walls to increase the enclosed area. The 4-acre property is in the middle of a 450-acre farm. As for the special exception, the building will be in the rear yard. It will be approximately 85 feet from the rear and 35 feet from the closest side property line. The closest neighbor is over 1,400 feet to the east, and there are no known impacts to the community or to the character of the neighborhood. The application is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the land use ordinance, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, what would you like to say about your application for the record?
We would like to say that both of these buildings are in bad need of repair. The roofs are in very bad need of repair, and we're not going to increase the impervious footprint at all. We're actually going to decrease it a small amount. We are going to raise the walls and the roof, so that'll be the only thing there. So we're hoping to improve.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. The neighbors are yourselves, so that works out conveniently, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming down. Is there anyone here in the audience who wants to speak either to support or oppose this application? Seeing none, and I see that there's no one online. I would like to say that I concur with staff, and I would decide that this can be approved. A decision and order is usually issued within about 2 weeks. And if you have permits that are being processed, we can continue to work on them, but we can't issue them for 30 days for the tolling period for an appeal to go by. So part of the purpose of these special exceptions is to make sure that, neighbors are aware, the neighborhood's aware, it's a published advertisement, so people can come and comment if they have issues with it. So thank you for taking the time to come in. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next, we will be reviewing the Carmen's application. If you'd like to come forward. Mr. Carper will present the staff report. Before we do so, may I ask, did you all have an opportunity to read the staff report? Have you seen it? Yes, okay, all right. Maybe if you can give us the highlights of the staff report. And also,
Yes.
just for anyone who tunes in to YouTube later, all of these documents are posted online for the public, and they can read the entire package, so.
Yes, the Carmens are requesting the special exception to install an in-ground pool in the front yard of a waterfront property, which is permittable by special exception. There are some standards for getting the special exception, primarily how the action might impact the neighborhood or the environment. And our comments in regards to these standards are as follows. These are ours and also from TAC, the Technical Advisory Committee. Health Department, State Highway Association, County Finance Office have reviewed the application, no objections to the proposal. The Betterton Volunteer Company, Fire Company has no issues and also noted the pool may serve as an alternate water supply if needed. Proposed patio, pool, and steps will be located between the principal dwelling and the shoreline. The proposed improvements will be positioned more than 100 feet from adjacent dwellings on either side, and vegetative screening between the properties already established. Special exception will not have a negative impact on surrounding properties. They did include lot coverage, both existing and proposed, and also a buffer enhancement plan, which is required for the increase in lot coverage, and both those meet the requirements. Comprehensive plan is neutral in this matter, and staff recommends approval of this application.
Thank you very much.
We do specify the 1-year lapse. I don't know if something you might want to address, but,
I am.
yeah, okay.
Thank you. So, what would you all like to say about your application?
I think he pretty much nailed everything. Generally, we have a 100-foot buffer. For this pool, we're 205 feet off the water, so we're almost double the normal allotted buffer. I don't have the exact measurement to neighbors' dwellings, but we are way over 100 feet from a neighbor's dwelling. As you said, we met all the lot coverage restrictions, and we have a buffer plan in place.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the room here to speak for or against this application? And I see no one online. So appreciate you coming down. Again, part of this process is to allow the public to understand what's happening in particular cases. In Kent County, if you're on the water, your front yard is considered the waterside yard. So when you put a pool in what feels like your backyard, it's really your front yard. So there's a process for that. I would agree with staff. My only question would be, and I usually ask this especially for pools, is do you feel like 1 year is enough time? Do you already have plans lined up for the
To finish the
execution?
construction?
Right.
Yeah, 1 year would be fine.
Okay, all right. Then I would concur with staff. A decision and order will be produced usually about 2 weeks. You'll get it in the mail. And if you have permits that you've already applied for, those will continue to be processed, but we can't issue them for 30 days to allow anyone who wants to appeal this decision to do so.
Sure.
So, thank you for taking the
And
time
is
and
that
coming down.
30 days from today?
Yeah, from the
Okay.
decision date, yes, sir.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. I mean, everything on the permit may not be ready, but if it is
Yeah, yeah.
ready, it's issuable within 30 days.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Have it right here.
Yep,
all right.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming down. Okay. And our third application is for St. Mary's Roofing and Home Improvements. Brand-new adaptive reuse in the AZD on a parcel under 20 acres. So, welcome.
Looking forward to it. Mr. Mackey, thanks.
Thank you. So have you read the staff report?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If if you could give us some highlights.
Yes. My name is Rob Tracy. I'm an associate planner with the Department of Planning and Zoning. Mr. Granger, representing St. Mary's Roofing and Home Improvements LLC, is requesting an administrative special exception for the adaptive reuse of an existing structure on a parcel, 20 acres or less, under 20 acres in the AZD to open a home improvement business. The main structure, which was previously the animal shelter, will be renovated so that the front half of the building may be utilized as a office space, conference room, break room, and storage for the operation of his business. The back of the building, of the main building, will be renovated for storage. Speaking with Mr. Granger, the hours of operation will be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. And they are estimating 4 full-time employees with construction crews coming in on an as-needed basis. Article 7, Section 2 lays out the special exception standards. And additionally, there are specific standards for the adaptive reuse in AZD for parcels under 20 acres. Staff believes that it's consistent with the intent of the ordinance as well as the comprehensive plan. I would like to note that Article 6, Section 1.3 of the Kent County Land Use Ordinance outlines the parking requirements for office buildings of 1 space per 400. So using this standard, 12 parking spaces would be needed. The applicant on his site plan showed 10. Based on the use and the application materials that were submitted to us, we believe that I believe that a reduction in parking would be appropriate based on the configuration of the property. To the west is a stream, so there is a stream corridor that has a particular setback, as well as there's existing parking already there. So I believe that it would be appropriate to request that.
And is it true that parking is based on the gross floor area of the building?
That's correct.
And those standards are based on standard office use, for example, an office like the one we work in with a number of employees?
Yes, that's correct.
So the occupancy here is unusually low.
That's correct.
Thank you.
And staff would say that, staff would recommend approval with the condition that the special exception be granted would elapse after 1 year if no substantial construction in accordance with the plans here and presented were to occur.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Granger, would you like to address your application?
Yeah, we are looking forward to getting this approved so we can get started on fixing up the property and making improvements. We have a lot of plans to make it more appealing, just driving by and making it look nice. We plan on hiring, between 2 and 4 local folks here that can operate as far as management, receptionist, and general manager, stuff like that. So we're looking forward to getting started. Purchased the property about 6 months ago, I think, now. So really excited to finish this process and get moving on it.
Okay, sounds good. What do you think your highest possible occupancy would be for the building? You intend to use it?
For a daily use or just for like a temporary, like we could have meetings with our crews where we could have maybe 10 people in there at once. But on a daily use, I would say between 2 and 4.
Okay. And are you planning on marking the parking spaces with paint of some kind in the
That
asphalt?
is going to be part of our planning. We plan on re-asphalting and putting new parking spots down. Not sure that will come within the first year or not, but we will have, right now, there are markings, there are painted markings now, but they're not in the best shape. But that is on one of our to-do lists. It's actually a lower priority. First of all, we want to get the vegetation cleaned up and get new siding, new roof, and get the building looking very nice. So then, after we get the building improved, then we're going to focus on the parking area and making that look.
Is there currently an ADA accessible space marked in that parking lot?
I believe there is one right before the entrance.
but I couldn't tell you 100%.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want to mention about the application?
No.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience here to speak either in favor or to oppose this application? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
If you could come up. Yep, thank you. And if you state your name and address.
my name is William S. Sutton, Jr. I'm your neighbor.
Oh, hey.
One question is, are you going to enlarge the property in the back?
No, we're just going to keep it, our plan is to just keep it cleaned up. Right now, I guess they were using it as walking trails in the back for their property, and I really liked how open it was, so just looking to keep it cleaned up, that's all. We're not looking to build any buildings back there or improve that at all. at
Or are
this
you
time.
going to use it more or less as a warehouse? Just keep your materials there, in other words, coming and going?
There may be certain stacks of material, but they will be very limited. So if we have, there will be times where we will have materials dropped off, but they would be used within a 2-week period. So there's not any plan to store a large amount of material at any given time.
And this is a roofing business?
That's correct. Roofing and home improvement business.
Gotcha. Just came to see what's going on with the new neighbor.
Absolutely. That's the purpose of these meetings. Yes, sir.
I live up on top of the hill with the cows.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
So looking at our building, are you on the left or
We're on
right?
the right, looking at your front door.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're in between you and the animal hospital.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. It was good to meet you. I've seen you over there a couple times.
So I'm very familiar with that property.
Okay. Any concerns or?
Not
any-
really.
Okay. Any issues there? We found some trash and debris there. Any vagrants running around there?
You never know what goes on at nighttime.
Okay.
But, yeah, I've been all through that property years ago when it was the Humane Society. I used to do a lot of playing with the neighbor. The neighbor used to live in the house on the hill there.
Okay.
That property went with Humane Society.
Yeah.
And, do a lot of hunting in the woods behind you.
You do?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And, of course, we got the cows up on the hill too.
Sure.
But I just want to know, find out what you were doing, or going to do, plan to do.
Yeah, we're
I have no
planning-
problem with it,
Right on.
so,
Appreciate it.
okay. I'm
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Okay. I do have one more question before I talk about the decision. Do you have any plans for the existing, I believe there's fenced dog runs on the property?
In the back? Yeah, we're just planning on keeping it clean for right now. We have no intention of tearing it down or, there's also dog kennels in the main building that we're not 100% sure what we're going to do with them, whether we end up demolishing them and using them for storage, but we'll be in touch with you if we decide to do that. Right now, we're really looking just to have an office out front and clean up the property overall. So no major changes from the way it is, because we may want to use it, in the future if we decide that, our business doesn't work well here, then we could sell it to a doggy daycare or something like that. So we don't want to make changes where, especially for the dog kennels that are in that warehouse area, they're built really nice. I mean, they're really nice, heavy duty. So I'd hate to just tear them out unless we have a very good reason.
And just so you know, the outside runs are non-conforming, so if they get moved or removed, then they can't go back, so.
Okay.
So if you want to hold on to that possible other use, it would be good not to change things around, so, okay. I do want to ask some questions about the storage of materials. So I think when we had discussed this earlier, I had sort of envisioned that those materials would be stored indoors. Is that correct?
It really, you're not going to see a lot of materials out there now. When materials are delivered, they could be set right in the ground. But then we could either, if it's important to you, we could move them inside. But at most, they sit for a week, at most. And that would be weather delays. So, and when I talk about materials, I'm talking about maybe a 12 by 12 section of maybe 2 pallets. So it's not like we're going to have, shingle debris laying out all over the place. So
Right.
And to be honest with you, that's out of the ordinary. Most times we have, if we're working on somebody's house or a commercial job site, we're having the materials delivered straight to the job. So it's actually an outlier that we would have materials delivered to our shop. Now, we will have materials on hand that are needed on a daily basis, such as if there's an emergency storm, we always keep stacks of tarps. But tarps will be inside. Okay, so we keep roofing accessories, pipe collars, tar paper, stuff like that. All that would be stored inside. Only on jobs where it's an outlier, where for whatever reason we can't get to the job site and we want to load our trucks up. So it would be dropped off and then picked up within a week and moved out of there. So we have no plans on storing materials outside, so it could be seen.
Well, I would like to request that you have sort of a screened area for those drop-offs, some place that if for people driving by in a car, they wouldn't be able to see pallets of materials. For many of our uses, indoor storage is only permitted, and any outdoor storage has to be screened.
Okay.
So if you can revise your site plan to indicate where that would be and what kind of screening, we can review that, so.
Okay, I mean.
That could be, I mean, if the, I don't know how high the pallets are, I mean, it could be as simple as a, wooden fence that's, cuts
Well, no,
off
we
the
could,
view.
we could utilize the shed, so I will make sure that anything that gets dropped off will be put into the shed then.
Okay.
That's fine.
No, that would be great.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think that's sort of the community expectation in general for these uses.
Okay.
So, okay.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. All righty, well, understanding the testimony, and thank you, Mr. Sutton, for coming out and addressing this, and the application staff's review, I would decide for approval. I do want to make two conditions. There's a recommended condition about the 1 year, if no substantial construction occurs. In this case, it's going to be the striping of the parking lot, et cetera. So that would be one condition, is that the improvements indicated on the site plan you've submitted would be completed in a year. And then the other condition I'd like to make, and I'm happy to talk to you about it, is if you could, right now, paint and properly indicate the ADA space that's on the property. I think that needs to
Absolutely.
be
Yeah.
marked, signed, with the appropriate painting and dimensions. So if you could do that, I would like to make that a condition of the approval as well.
Okay. No
Okay.
problem.
And do you have any other questions?
I do not.
Would you like to make a closing statement?
Look forward to working with you.
Okay. I do have a closing statement, and that is, we're really happy to see you come to Kent County. Thank you very much. I don't know, for the audience, we went through a process where the commissioners actually changed the law to allow this application to come before the, administrative hearing board to approve. So welcome to Kent County. We're glad to have you and look forward to your business and the folks that you employ and bring here, and that you'll be a good neighbor and keep the property cleaned up, and that's appreciated. So.
Yes, sir.
All righty. So a decision will be issued probably in, 1 to 2 weeks. Any permits associated with this will have to wait 30 days for issuance, except, with the exception, I think, the ADA painting space, if you can just proceed with that as soon as possible. And
Okay.
that'll be, we will fold that into whatever permit we do. And if you can give us a timeline about when you think you're going to strike the parking lot, that'd be helpful.
Will do.
All righty. Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Sutton. Appreciate you coming. And Gina, thank you for coming as well. All righty, and with that, I don't believe we have any other items on our agenda. I'd like to move to close. So, thank you very much. Adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Do you want just a real quick question, do you want an updated drawing? You want me to send that to you, showing where the